I think I think the thing with Undertale is I was gonna say I think the thing with Undertale is it's not a long game, so it's good. So if you want to try other experiences, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
Like what's Undertale? Maybe like 12 hours,
Honestly, I don't know,
maybe
cause like
less than that.
I always imagine Undertale is like a very short experience,
Hmm.
and not to mention like most people don't 6 hours, bro. It's nothing, right?
Oh yeah,
But like that's
six
if you're
hours
that's
and
if but if you're trying to do completionist, you're gonna do maybe like three playthroughs at most.
yeah. I think there is only three. There's like pacifist, neutral, and aggressive. Aggressive ending.
It's basically I discover sands.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the only time you can actually fight like Sans is if you go on the genocide ending.
Yeah. Now, speaking of a genocide,
Oh, no.
so can you explain to me the Bayonetta situation? Because every time I look over, it seems like there's just like did who's lying and who's
So
lying and who's not lying? I want to know. I want to know because I'll be honest.
okay.
Because like it's
I'll give you the rundown. So basically, I'll say how I experienced. So I was on YouTube and on one YouTube channel, I was like, everyone's talking about the Bayonetta thing, and I was like, I never heard about it. So I'm listening to him, and I'm like, okay, that's a story. And to me, it was like, I've seen. It's like if you've been on the internet and you have some level of common sense, you realize like stories always get switched. It's very rare when a story gets put out there and there's no like switch around, right? And as the story was developing, right? First thing, she wanted people to boycott the sales, right? Um, it's probably echoey because this room's empty, but she wanted people to boycott the sales. She wanted people to um,
yeah. Don't worry about the audio, everyone. It's just for 1 week, I believe.
yeah, but yeah, she wanted people to boycott the sales, and she later on got upset at the voice actor who re-signed at Bayonetta, saying, "You have no right to sign at Bayonetta. I am the voice of Bayonetta. I helped build this character." And it's just really weird, like how much of an ego she has on her. Because, like, one, she's not the only voice actor for Bayonetta, right? She's just the voice actor for the English side, right? Not only that, you know, she doesn't have a prominent space in voice acting. Like her resume really is only Bayonetta, right? Which is great. But again, she also claimed that they made $450 million in sales, which is impossible. If you look at the sale number of Bayonetta, and even if you were to count like merchant stuff, it still would not even come anywhere close to that. And Sega also came out that said they lost money on Bayonetta, right? It just didn't sell enough. So this isn't a lucrative franchise, right? But she is the voice, and they wanted to get her back as the voice of Bayonetta. The story basically evolved into her not being able to uh, get what she wanted, which was a six-figure deal, which is insane voice acting. She, yeah, so she wanted a six-figure deal, and she wanted residuals. And honestly, I think the six-figure deal is stupid, but I do think, you know, I don't know. I've been thinking about the residual things, and some parts of me is like, I agree with it. I think it'd be good, but then other parts of me kind of doesn't, right?
I agree with the principle of like voice actors getting paid well, right?
Yeah,
Um,
no, I think they should get paid well, but the residuals, my only problem is when people compare voice actors to actors, and I think those are very different things, right? And again, like I'm someone who does have like a, I have a decent, I have a lot of respect for voice actors, but I do think when people try to like compare them to actors, I'm like, okay, that's a little bit different.
no,
That's a
like
little bit different.
they're different, obviously, and like let's not put one in one category, say one's less than the other, right? Because like Chris Pratt doesn't sound good, for example, right?
Yeah. well, the reason I would say like it's different is I'm not talking about like voice acting actors. I'm talking about like it's like when people compare like how much actors get paid versus voice actors. Yes, actors get paid a shit ton of money, but you would also have to understand that actors also work significantly more, right? If you're on a film, it's not uncommon. Like as someone who's done like film work, yes, even to shoot one or two scenes could take multiple hours, right? And literally, like 2 minutes can take 2 to 3 hours of work, right? I can understand that can be the same, but like, if you're doing a blockbuster, that's like a year or two of filming. It's
Yeah, filmmaking's
generally it's like from dusk to dawn.
no filmmaking's
Yeah,
of course arduous activity. I remember someone wondering how much did Willem Dafoe to cost for that one like video game they cast him in. Because he did motion capture for that too.
I
It was one with Ellen. I mean, well, it's not Ellen Page anymore, but that's besides the point, right? Um,
I was gonna say there was one thing I saw recently. I think it might have been Tom Cruise, but it was a movie he was filming, and there was one scene where the sun had to be in a certain spot, and it was only a 15-minute window to shoot it. And if they messed up, they would have to do it, and it took them 4 days to shoot it because they had to get to that day at that time every single time at that spot. And if it was the clouds weren't in the right spot, they're like, "Oh, we got to do it." Right. So it's not again. I'm not trying to belittle like voice acting, but it's like it's a much quicker and faster process than like acting.
which to be fair, it's to its benefit. It allows like a lot of like it allows games to be a bit faster in that aspect, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you and
yeah,
you can
right.
record much more. You can record much more with the VA compared to the regular actor, because an actor, well, they gotta act it out, right? There's a reason
Yeah,
why you could have hundreds of hours of dialogue.
yeah, and I guess like again, it's not to like belittle. It's like an actor is a little bit more important to motion capture film than a video game, which has 100 of artists, hundreds of like saying it's a little bit different because you're not directly on a screen. And I do understand there are some games where they literally do have like I forget what it's called, but when they wear those suits,
Yeah, motion capture.
is that motion capture?
Well, they like
Motion capture was
they
also just art,
they,
like
they
live
voice
action.
they're like they motion capture their faces while they're talking, while they're
Mhm.
acting like the activities. Like a good example would be like LA Noir. LA. I'm sorry, LA
Oh, okay, yeah,
Noir.
yeah. They have. Yeah, no, I meant motion capture as in like actual like acting. I guess I should have said live action.
Well, no, because like I mean, okay. I was gonna say because like they technically did model the bodies and the actor talking, so like you know there was a lot of effort in that way, right? Bro, Jennifer Hale was
Oh,
Canadian.
there is. Hmm?
I'm sorry, I was doing some more extra background research into. This is a little bit ahead in the story, but continue on.
But yeah, no, she wanted a lot of money, and it just wasn't reasonable. She was claiming she was only got offered $4,000, which later on could be shown like people who were a part of that deal all got was able to show it to like a news outlet, Bloomberg, to verify that it was actually $3,000 to $4,000 for a minimum of 5 sessions. So she would have got paid between 15 and $20,000. So a lot different from 4 grand for a whole game. Yo, you there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just eating my biscuit, thinking to myself like, what happened to this fucking story, bro?
I do want to say it was really funny the amount of people on Twitter that were like, "Well, they should have gave her $100,000. They can afford $100,000." And it's like, one, this is not like a lucrative franchise. It's really weird that people think it is,
Sega's not as rich as you think they
right?
are.
Sega's going broke. Like Sega's has hit some bangers that have saved them, but they don't got money. They have to shut down a lot of their arcades and all that stuff. But
There's a
it's
reason
not
why we're
just
getting
Sega, right?
three. There's a reason why we're getting three Yakuzas.
It's not just that. It's also Nintendo's also funding too, right? But Another thing I would say is 100 grand is it would be a massive outlier for a voice actor, and a voice actor of her prestige is just not there. She's just not at that level, right? And then to ask for residuals on top of that is insane, right? And a lot of people said, and a lot of people were kept trying to tell people like, look, it's gig work, right? It's only 16 hours of work for 20 grand. She can go out there and get another job, and she has another job too, right? Like one thing people need to understand is she's really only done Bayonetta, and there's only two Bayonettas out right now. So there's no way she was surviving on the checks of two Bayonetta games for life.
Like,
She already says that she works in theater, so she has another job. This is just a bonus.
I mean, like this is a side hustle straight up.
Yeah, that's literally it. And that's fine. It's not the studio to make sure you can live for a year. It's for them to make sure like, hey, we need you for this month. We want to make sure you can survive off that month. And $20,000 even after taxes, she should have been good for the next few months. If she really cared about voice acting, she could have probably landed another minor role or a major role somewhere else. But she doesn't care. That's just not her main field, right? So to act like she's this very prominent, like very prestigious voice actor is crazy. She's a voice actor for a series that doesn't sell that well. She thinks it sells a lot. I don't know why. I'm sure the last time she did voice acting for Bayonetta was most likely for Smash,
I was
right?
gonna
So
say
I
like
don't know.
this isn't like Bandit is a notable name, but it's not like how it's not like a name that we've known since we were children, right? We don't like this doesn't conjure up the same like legacy as like other franchises, right?
Yeah, it's not even about knowing it since children, but it's
I mean, like
like again, it's gonna people brought up like Near Automata, right? Like the reason that they couldn't make more because Near Automata hasn't even made $450 million,
I,
which is what she claimed. And Nier Automata is a much newer franchise than Bayonetta, so it's not about it being like I understand it comes from a different franchise, but I get Nier Automata.
don't go to the Dragon Guard.
Okay. Uh,
Don't go to the Dragon Guard
I'm
pipeline,
not
bro.
gonna go to Dragon Guard. I'm not gonna go to like Nier or any of that stuff. But yeah,
I mean, like for example, the voice actor for Ratchet, bro, he's been going since Going Commando. Like you don't see the man complain. The man plays Obi-Wan in Star Wars.
yeah, right. But the whole residual thing, when people are saying like, yeah, voice actors should start getting residual, and then the part of me was like, honestly, it would be nice, and I think it would also add a little bit of competition. The quality of voice acting would probably go up too. But then I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I think their pay should be better, but I don't think they should be entitled to residuals.
I mean, she could just literally start doing a podcast like Critical Role, and they've been raking in money ever since.
Yeah. Like,
You ever heard of Critical Role? Have you?
no,
So like
is
imagine
it a voice actor podcast?
yeah, it was like a D&D session like a bunch of voice actors ran.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, like these are
I
big
heard
names.
about
Like
that.
these are probably the biggest names. You got Matt Mercer, Laura Bailey, other people, right? I don't know if Troy Baker's there,
Hmm.
but right? But like I wouldn't be surprised, right? And it's like
Yeah,
they they can make money on the side. Trust me, they do. They know how to hustle. They've been hustling.
yeah. Like the guy who does the voice acting for Genshin Impact, um, his channel blew up after that, and he does like a lot of like voice acting stuff now.
Who was it for? I forget to pronounce his name. I can't pronounce
Zach something.
Zach Aguilar.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been popular. I mean, I've seen him for a while because like I'm the weirdo
I
who
mean he's Tanjiro. He's Tanjiro for
he's Tranjiro. Bro, he's probably you gotta see like this man is in like the cyberpunk. He was in the cyberpunk anime as the main character, I believe.
yeah.
He's also a
But no, like,
oh, okay, he's not a JoJo, my bad, but he is in JoJo too.
but no. What I was gonna say is, the reason why I don't think they should get residuals is that it's like I don't know. I guess there is a bit of a disconnect from actors and voice actors. Maybe that's bad on me, But I guess the reason I feel like they should get paid more. But I think the reason why I don't sync residuals is because I'm like, it's important to the story, but I do kind of feel like it's kind of like when you watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air, right? And, and they change Aunt Vivian. You're like, oh fuck, you
Okay, yeah,
felt that
okay, all right. Hey, don't bring that up. That one fucked me up when I was young.
when
My mom always liked to talk to us like, what happened to other Aunt Vivian?
but when it was like Chie, when Chie got replaced, I was like, yo, this Chie is a lot better.
Kanji got
But
replaced too.
really,
Yeah, it was literally Troy
I
Baker
didn't
to
even
Matt
know.
Mercer. You couldn't hear the difference that
I
well.
Yeah. No, I could. Honestly, it's not even sound mean. They needed to replace the old Chie. I straight up did not like Chie
Everyone's
until um
everyone's agreed with you on this one. Like this version's like a
no no
big upgrade.
no because you understand. I before when I first heard Chie, this was before the fighting because the first time she got replaced was not actually in Golden. It was actually in Persona 4 Arena because
Oh,
I was like the first thing after Persona 4.
I was a test
So
run.
when I heard Chie, when I heard Chie in Persona 4 Arena, I was like, okay, this Chie is I actually like Chie now.
Yeah,
But yeah, originally I was like, I did not like Chie. I hated Chie until they changed the voice actor. I
yeah.
still hate Yukari, but
Well, you hate Yukari. What?
I don't know. I don't hate Yukari, but
I
I don't
mean,
like it. I don't
I
know
mean,
why.
like,
I've never liked Yukari.
yeah, Chie's replacement
I
much
like her
better.
story, but I don't like it a lot better.
It's funny
And that's
because
the thing too. Is oh, yeah.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the thing too because when I was a kid, I actually watched an interview with the voice actor for Chie, like the new one. And she was saying, like, yeah, it was really awesome. I go in there, I do my thing for like 4 weeks, and I'm done, right? And it's like I can just do whatever I want, and it's like, yeah. So I don't know. I guess because I see how much more. I understand that getting a voice acting job is a lot harder than getting. I, actually, I don't know. I don't think it's harder to get a voice acting job as hard as it is to get an acting job. I don't know. I think it's kind of comparable.
I mean, sometimes the problem with like voice acting is it's kind of viewed as replaceable because, like, sometimes with an actor for like a movie, they're unreplaceable, right? With the recent
Yeah, they're on.
Spider-Man, they were gonna bring back the. Well, I mean, can I say it? Can I say it?
No, don't say it.
Why?
They're
Why?
gonna bring back. I mean, they brought back the actors. I
Yeah,
know
that's right.
that.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, can I say which villain though?
No, don't say what villain.
Come on.
Don't say what villain. Don't do me
Hey,
like
you
that. Don't
saw
say what villain.
you see the trailer, bro. It's like, hello,
I
Peter.
never saw the trailer. I never saw the trailer.
Ah.
I
Well,
never
if
saw
you
the
if the
trailer. I'm
audience
sorry.
knows, a certain man,
If you know, you
if you know, you
know.
cannot imagine this villain without him, right? He's just that good.
I'm gonna guess the Green Goblin.
Yeah, Green Goblin.
Okay, yeah. Obviously. Okay, let's do
Right? You cannot imagine
that.
him. Willem Dafoe made
But
that character.
yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say is like I guess with actors, the reason why I'm like I feel a little bit more like yeah, it's just from what I understand from like acting is like and someone who's actually gone out there and film that shit's hard, right? I can't imagine doing a 30-minute movie because if he told me, yo, we have to film a 30-minute movie, I'm like, that's a 6 month fucking project,
I forgot
right?
Teddy's voice actor changed too.
Yeah, but you wouldn't notice.
Yeah,
The only big notice is Chie because I always say this original Chie sounded like she was like congested, like I don't know. She sounded like she was sick. She sounded like she didn't want to be there. I'm sorry. Which sucks because like Chie herself is such a more like energetic character, so it was just a really weird contrast. And it was like, oh, when it changed, it was like, yeah, this is what Chie should have sounded like.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, the reason why I say it's like really weird is that, and again, it's not to like sing, but it's like if we're being like objective, actors do have to put in more work than voice actors, and I don't mean that unless they get more pay, but I guess it's just more that it's like if you're an actor and a really big actor and your name brings in people saying, I don't think outside of Japan voice actors brings in an audience, but in Hollywood, having a big actor will bring in an audience.
It does. I mean, I remember my friend was telling me like, bro, you know what's a movie that was amazing? And I was like, which movie? He said The Departed. I'm like, oh yeah, that movie was pretty. He's like, yo, I'm surprised you haven't seen it. I was like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, we had Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon,
Yeah,
uh, we Mark Wahlberg, and I think of course Leonardo DiCaprio. And I'm like, wow, that's a really stacked cast, right?
yeah.
And then you look at the director, and it's like, also, a director's name can bring people in too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Especially you
Scorsese,
see
like
a
you
Spielberg,
I mean, Scorsese, for example. Like as soon as I hear Scorsese, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Quentin
watch the movie.
Tarantino.
Yeah, I'm a Tarantino fan. Even on
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
even
yeah.
on things that I'm like, yeah, this one was kind of a mess.
Mm, yep. What was the last movie he did? Was it Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I might have been. I don't remember. I know you won an Oscar for
Two
that.
thousand. That's 2022. No, that's 2000. That's 2020. I mean, that's 2020. So I think that might have been his last one.
Might have been. He there's time between these movies.
Yeah, there's time. Um, yeah, no, but like I don't think actors pull in sales for like video games or stuff like that, right? They might. I just don't think it would be significant, personally, right? If he told me that the voice of Ganondorf brought in sales, I would laugh at you. I'd be like,
I mean,
"Nigga,
he
who
had
speaks
to.
in that?"
They'd have to like have some. They had to have like fucking Anthony Hopkins playing him or some shit like that.
I, dude, you could tell me that they've been using the same recording of Link since like 1996, and I believe you. Like,
It's just, dude, they have been though. What do you mean? Okay,
like I'd actually believe.
okay, in Japan at least, but like, actually no, Link's voice has changed. You can tell between games.
You could tell, but if you told me it hasn't and it's just like a pre-recorded set, I would believe
They just have the same like,
you. Yeah, you can tell it's changed, but like again, I would believe you.
You'd be funny if they just took the same, if they made a new Star Fox and they just kept the same voice clips, but just spliced them by like artificially making them repeat.
Because I remember I saw a Moist Critical video, and this was a point he made, and I think it, it it was valid, but I think I don't. The thing is, I don't think for him he realized how many games it really didn't apply to, which was things like if you if you don't believe that like voice acting is important to a game, then or they're really easily replaceable, then play a game without voice acting or like on mute. And I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of games where you don't really care about the voice.
I mean, there's some games that don't have voice acting because the
There's a
hardware
lot of
they didn't
voice
permit
acting.
them. Like, where is he going with this argument?
No, and it's like it's valid. Like there are some games like I wouldn't want to play a Persona game without voices. I like the dialogue, right? But if you told me to play like a Pokemon game without voices, I'm like, there's voices in Pokemon games.
Yeah, I was.
Like I would understand I would understand the Pokemon would stop making noises too, but like
I
I
mean, like,
probably wouldn't care.
I don't know. Like, I don't feel like it's a good argument in my opinion. I feel like
It's not because again
it's
I
rather
think
shallow,
there's
and I like to be fair. I mean, why the fuck am I putting stock in Moist Critical's opinion? It's not like he's not like he's making the games, right?
yeah, I mean it can matter, it can matter, but it's hard to say, it's hard to say, but the one thing I did think too was like uh Jennifer Hale's the one who or it's Taylor, right? Something Taylor?
No, Jennifer Hale, I believe.
No, who's the one who like killed her career?
Well, that's the one. I think the one, the Bayonetta voice, the actress right now is, yeah, Jennifer Taylor, I believe.
Isn't okay? What's her name? I thought it was Jenna. Okay, yeah, something Taylor. Her name is something Taylor. Yeah,
Voice actress name with the old one.
yeah, but yeah, Helena Taylor. I was kind of thinking like, okay, she even if what she said was true. When I saw this, I saw she was like a big voice actor, or she did other stuff, but she didn't do anything, and it made a little bit more sense because like if she ruins her, like you got to make it clear she's never going to get another voice acting job again, right? Like no company would want to deal with her
No one wants
for
to
this,
touch her because like
right?
this is she's damaging. She's a financial drain because like this is very unprofessional behavior.
Well, she actually boosted sales of
She
Bayonetta.
did when they found out she was basically lying.
No, 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 no. She boosted sales before this.
Really?
Yeah, so what happened was when her video came out, the sales on Amazon shot up because before it was like a top 50, then it shot up to like a top 30
I
in
was
for video game section.
see people saw it like what you would call
It
it.
beat it literally beat out Madden. It beat out Madden
Okay, yeah,
in Amazon
No, no.
sales.
All I'm gonna say is no one gives a fuck about Madden as much anymore. That's just hot take.
No, Madden still sells. Madden is one of those games where I'm like, oh, this game's like, who plays this? And then I look at its sales every year and I'm like, oh yeah, 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 it sells really good.
Yeah, yeah. You say who plays it, but at the same time, I don't think I've met anyone in my life who's played Madden in years.
No, I know a lot of people that play Madden.
They ain't my people.
Uh, well, do they watch football?
I don't watch football. That's true, actually.
Yeah, people I know who are really into football play Madden.
I thought they played 2K then.
They play both. Generally, if you're into football, you're also into basketball.
Don't they have a football game like made by 2K? Or is it Madden?
Madden is EA, unless you mean FIFA, which is also EA. Unless you're talking about NBA Live, which I think NBA Live is EA.
Whatever. But going back to
EA Sports. It's
it's
in the
in the
game.
game. I haven't heard that in years.
But yeah, the sales shot up. They're doing phenomenal, and then this came out, and obviously it's been a conversation of like how voice actors should get paid. 20K for a big role. I think her pay was fair. It was four times the union average because the one reason it didn't make sense is that her pay would have been lower than the union pay recommendation.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it wouldn't have been possible, right? So it
Now,
didn't make sense. Generally, people would go back and
yeah. I it's
now the
I don't know what
now I was gonna
else.
say there's one person. Wait, I was like, who do you think is the highest paid video game voice actor? I think I have a name. I think I know who it
I
is.
have two names, but like I don't know if it's true or not.
I generally think it's the guy who does God of War.
You think Kratos?
There, okay. The thing is, Kratos is one of those voice actors that has changed a lot. But I know the guy who does God of War is not one. He's actually been like a legitimate like actor, and he was like the
No,
main guy or not the main guy. He was
actually, I have an idea. I have an idea. You can't beat this one though.
no, it can't be someone who's like Hollywood as fuck.
Oh, come on! But he does a lot of video
It
game
has,
voice
it,
acting too.
it has to be
Okay,
someone who
can I say
does like probably
can I
it
at
has to
least
be it has to main their main thing has to be voice acting.
okay? He's done a lot of video
Their main
games.
thing has to be voice acting.
He's done a lot of video
No, his
games.
main thing his main thing voice acting.
No, it's not voice acting. Can I at least say his name?
No, 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 no. Okay, say his name.
It's Keith David.
Nah,
Okay,
all
but
right.
but he if okay, but he does a lot of games. Been in a lot of games, bro. Was he in the new
I'm sorry.
MW2? Bro, who was yelling Ramirez at us? Bro, it was Keith David. This man was in Saints Row too.
I was gonna say the voice actor for I was watching Maximilian play Def Jam, and then I heard the guy's voice. And I'm like, holy shit, that's the guy who does Kratos.
Def Jam.
Yeah, the fighting game from like back in the day.
Oh,
He was like their boss in thing.
Def Jam. Oh, Fight for NY. Fight for New York.
Yeah, he was your boss, and I heard his voice, and I'm like, dude, this guy. I'm not gonna lie, that man's voice is crazy. Like, if anyone like, there's some people
What the?
who have iconic voices. Like Morgan Freeman's one of them. And this guy's voice, like, if you hear his voice, you're like, yo, what the fuck?
I
His
don't know.
voice doesn't even sound real.
I was gonna say I recognize Keith David, but yeah. Fuck. Are you, bro? I forgot about Def Jam, bro. What the? How could you remind me about this?
Yeah, I looked into things like, yo, this guy's done a lot of voice acting, and like now his main thing is like God of War Kratos, and I was like, I can't imagine him not being paid well because his voice is like fucking iconic. Any
I
game I hear this guy's voice, I'm like, holy shit.
I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember him in many things because like I never played much God of War as a kid, so like I've never really.
He's not the main. So he's the voice actor for the current God of War, but the other God of Wars had different voice actors. But he's done voice acting for other stuff. He's in the Dark Knight too.
Is he?
He's in the Dark Knight.
Yeah,
He's in a
because
lot of
I
sci-fi
look I
stuff.
look at his video game roles. He's not that many roles. It's just God of War.
Yeah, but
But
his main thing now is God of War.
well, I
He's
was
been
gonna
in Dead Space.
I was gonna say because like he's not like the original God of War voice actor for Kratos. He's since just the remake. I mean, not the remake,
Yeah,
but
he's not the original.
just 4 and 5.
Yeah, he's not the original. 'Cause like I said, Kratos' voice actor has changed a lot, but I think he's like in.
I was gonna say my answer was either Troy Baker or Laura Bailey because like Troy Baker is like a video game man. He was video game man for like a decade because like,
Yeah.
if there's any video game that had a main character, it was fucking Troy Baker.
Dude, this guy was in CIS Los Angeles. I didn't even know they had that.
CIS isn't it? Oh yeah, CIS. But bro, I swear I thought CIS Miami was the only good one.
Oh yeah, that one CIA. That was CIA though. It's CIA in Miami, not CIS or NCIS. CIA Miami was the guy with the sunglasses and
And they were
he's
like,
all the
yeah.
openings like when he's about.
He'd make
Yeah.
yeah, he'd make a joke and he's like, yeah.
Uh, I'm not gonna lie, CIA Miami was pretty goaded.
God, all this old stuff we're talking about. But going on to speak of old things, Bayonetta's new voice actress is a pretty big name. I'd say she's very big because like she's very famous, right? For just a lot of things. Like I sent Dante a photo of like all the roles she's done. It's like she's been fucking everywhere. And I mean everywhere. You know? Like I mean she's been like Avatar, fucking Totally Spies if you're Canadian. I mean she is Canadian too, right? Amongst other things like that. But I mean like you gotta understand.
Tell me more about Jennifer Hale. I know she's done a lot of stuff.
Like you gotta understand, like Dante wasn't listening earlier, because I tend to ramble, but like, yeah, but she's in Mass Effect, bro. She's been like TV shows. Like if you're Canadian, she was in Totally Spies, right? Like
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
that's a legacy show. Like she's been in like the original Metal Gear Solid, right? Uh, fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender. fucking anything you could name it, she's been there, and it's like you couldn't find a voice actress that has more experience than her. And not to mention, she's also a big advocate for voice acting. So when like Helena Taylor was like dragging her, it's like, who do you know who you're fucking dragging, Miss?
Yeah.
It's like this lady has been fighting like for voice for her fellow kind for a while. So it's like, if there's anyone who can vouch for like if voice actors are being taken care of or not, I'd say it's her for the most part. It's not like you can be. It's not like you can't be an old name and not be corrupt, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the whole situation was it was just really, really weird. And I don't really know how to. When everything came out, everything started making more sense. Especially like I had an idea of how much like voice actors do get paid, and what she was saying didn't really make sense. And if it was true, especially the fact that it was union work, and anyone who knows anything about unions, you don't really want to go against the union when it's a contract because that's going to be more hassle for you, right? $4,000 would not be worth going to court for. So,
I mean,
you know, either.
that's a small claims thing. Because to be honest, and if it's a small claims thing, that's mostly like something like personal injury or something like that.
Hmm? Wait, what?
Like when you have like if you're fighting for something small like 4,000, like it's usually a small claims thing.
Oh no, no, no. Well, the thing is, it's union work, right? And
Yeah,
in the union, it's like she was supposed to, she was would have been getting paid less than what she's supposed to in the union, right? Which is you can't do that. So it would be a problem
yeah,
because
no,
her saying was she would get paid. So the reason why it would be bad is that in the union, right? It says for 4 hour work a session, the minimum is like 900 and something dollars, right? So because they wanted 5 sessions for a whole game, the minimum would have been $5,000. That would have just been the minimum. But she said it was $4,000,
which is
which
wrong.
would have been under, which would have been under the minimum saying. Which, yeah, she would have a case because she's in the union. Something going through the union, right? So I don't think it would go under small claims. I think it would actually be like an actual legal problem,
Hmm,
right?
not a good
Because this
look.
wasn't like, yeah, but obviously that's what people are saying. Because it's union work, her claim really would have been impossible.
So, and of course, as anything on social media, people jumped on it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. People, especially when something's like proving like true, because like now you'll always when I go on Twitter and something's getting posted about Bayonetta, like nothing to do with the voice acting thing, just like Nintendo advertising for the game, you'll see people being like, "Yo, read the room," right? And people have to tell them like, "Nah, it was proven innocent," and people are still like throwing out the $450 million figure, which has been disproven multiple times. Like it's just really bad.
Yeah, Twitter's a
And
perfect
it's like
example of like
people
bad
take like
misinformation. Yeah, and they run with it.
yeah, no, people take misinformation, just run with it. Right? It's just really bad. It's just really bad, and it runs rampant. And it's sad because even when people are getting corrected, they just refuse to listen. They refuse to like, no, this is great because like they already had their narrative, right? And it's just that lack of
And,
humility that
and
people generally have.
and it's like, like one of the response I would see is imagine defending a company. It's like, no, it's not because it's a company. It's because she's lying and she's damaging other voice actors. Like
Uh,
she's causing more harm, I'd argue.
I want to say this: there's nothing wrong. These are built upon like a, a thousand, generally, lots of people. There's more than one person a part of the company. And do you feel like you can't defend them? Makes no sense.
I mean, like, look, I'm no fan of companies. Dante
Hello?
knows. Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm no fan of companies, but even I know, like, on just principle's sake, like, this is just stupid. This is not good behavior. It reflects poorly, and not to mention, I think it's putting out bad information like this will cause a lot of trouble maybe down the line because people will run around with notions of how things are when they're not how they are in reality, right?
And the thing that I do always find funny when people always have this this negative outlook on companies too is that they don't understand that if they were in a business, they would have to do the same thing, right? Because legally, companies have to act in the interest of their shareholders, right? You
Well,
can't
that
really
can lead
go
to a
against
lot
your
of bad.
shareholders.
That can lead to a lot of bad things at the same time, though.
Yeah, but by law, they actually have
No,
to,
I
right? It's
understand
not a
by law. I mean,
right.
that's how that's how it does work. So when people are surprised this happens, like no, you shouldn't be surprised. You should stop it when it's like very illegal or immoral, right?
the
But
the
like,
the problem. No, but the main problem is people who are talking about economics, talking about corporations that have
okay,
zero idea, who have zero experience of a corporate, like they've never touched the corporate world, but they're talking about it.
okay. Look, I'm pretty sure most people on Twitter haven't picked up a book.
Now, the last one was Harry Potter in like the sixth grade, so
Oh yeah, and now they don't talk. They're not gonna reread it because J.K. Rowling's a bad woman now, right?
is she? I don't know. I just saw
Oh no,
people
because she's
meme
like,
on him.
well, okay, we're not touching that right now. All you know, she's been canceled. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna talk about anything else.
I think I've heard about something, but I don't know. I hear things pass around all the time.
Yeah, it does. Frankly speaking, if it passes by one person's ear, it goes over another person's ear.
No, no, I did want to talk about another topic.
Okay.
Um, So I was watching a podcast with some, the revenue podcast, but it's another one of those like anime scene podcasts. I guess I didn't really care to watch it, but then they had a guest on that I was like, I watched for the guest, and they were just talking to the guest. The guest didn't really care about anime. Um, and they were doing this thing where they were talking about like, can you guess if this anime is real or not? And they were like giving up things, and I was like, when it was pretty easy, but there were some things where people are like, "Yo, I've never heard of this, I've never heard of this." And then when someone heard something that everyone didn't hear, but like one person did hear, they're like, "Damn, you actually are a weeb." And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, how how weeby are we, man? Give it to me straight. Do we know too much?
I could say I do. I can't speak for you. I'd say you know a lot, but I don't know if that makes you weeb territory or just a media fan.
You want to know what got me? They were doing it, and they described the synopsis for Zombie Deska, which is a very old anime, like
Oh,
10 years old.
oh, that is
And
old.
they're all like, yo, I've never heard of this. And I'm like, and these guys are older than me. And I was like, holy shit. How am I the only one who've heard about this? And I guess another one was they said the synopsis for On High School. And the only person who got it was a girl. And then it was like, oh, I'm not surprised you've never seen this because it's an anime for girls. And I was like, "What, High School's an anime for girls?" you know that like Francis Auto me with like CJ's on the toilet. That's how I felt. I'm like, wait, no, High School's for girls.
Oh, that is so true. Unfortunately,
I
yeah, I mean,
was
I'm considered an old head at this point because like I talk about some series. It's like, oh, you like Gundam, right? I'm like, yeah. Bro, you're such a geezer, bro. Why do you like mecha? That's shit's so. At first they dog mecha, and then they're like, bro, you're such a. Why are you watching such old shit? I'm like, why can't I?
nah, I know, like, I know, I know what I'm saying. I definitely know I know. I definitely know I know people. But you know the meme I'm talking about where he had like his hands on his head. He's like, oh, yeah. Wait,
God, I want to see it right now. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up.
wait, no, not on the toilet. Not the Gee, wait, let me save it.
Man, I'm thinking to myself, as you get older, you're an old head, and it's like you talk about Bleach. It's like Bleach is old.
Nah, dude, I talk about older shit than Bleach. Dude, I still fucking talk about Digimon.
I mean, Digimon's still running. They still make Digimon.
It's still around, but no one talks about like original Digimon.
Original? I don't know. What would you say?
What? What?
I mean, like, yeah, many people don't go out to see originals. They want remakes. You know, I heard people saying, "I'm not watching Gundam until they make a remake," and I was like, I don't think you need to. It's.
And here's another example.
I mean, but then again, like even old things, like you ever heard of Urusei Yatsura?
Ernesto Yatsura?
Yeah,
Is
you know
that like?
that's old. It's old. That's old shit. But
But
like,
I think here this is what I'll say. I think there's also a difference from seeing talking about like old stuff and obscure stuff
okay,
because there's new obscure stuff that no one's gonna hear about,
yeah, I know, I
right?
agree with that. But like the thing about Urusei Yatsura is like one, the author's very famous because she did Inuyasha,
Mm.
and two,
Oh, is this like pre Inuyasha?
yes, pre Inuyasha, but even then, she was still like a household name, I'd say, even before Inuyasha, right?
Do you see what I think?
Yeah, I know.
That's how I felt when they're like, "Oh, high school for girls." I was like, "Wait, that's just for girls."
Yo, okay, I want to go there and smack these mans. What do you mean it's for girls? I will fight people.
No, that's what the girl said. I was like, "Oh, I'm not surprised," because none of the guys knew what it was. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not surprised you guys don't know that show's for girls." And I was like, "What? It's for girls?"
It's for girls.
Like when I was a kid and I watched Sailor Moon, I knew that was for girls, but I liked it.
Okay,
But
Magical Girl is for girls, but that doesn't. So is, but idol anime is for men.
I don't like anime. Like the only I don't. That's the thing. I remember I told you about like AKB 044A, and I don't think you even knew that was an anime until I told you about it.
Yeah, no, but I'm emphasizing the fact that like how idol anime meant to be for girls, but realistically the main demographic's just men.
Is it for girls? Is it meant to be for girls?
I don't know. The author of Berserk really ripped Idol Master.
Oh,
You think I'm joking, but I'm not.
no, 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 I'm not. I don't think you're joking.
It's it's uh it's funny,
I
man.
I think I do. I do know like out of I'll say this. I think out of all my friends that I do have, there might only be like one or two that I think might know more than me. And I was like, damn, I'm actually, I legitimately have reached that step.
I'm glad I'm not that guy.
What do you mean?
I'm glad I'm not the guy who knows too much more anime stuff than you. Cause like yeah, before in the past I would have gave a shit, but now it's like nah.
See? I think we're even.
I'd say we're even, but like we have different fields. Like but thanks to you, like these are things I like. For example, like Mystery X Girlfriend, I knew about. I never touched it because I was like whatever. I wasn't gonna. It's like
I
I didn't get
yeah,
around to
did you
it until
finish
you
it?
tell me to do it, and I was like okay, I'll watch it, and I'm like finishing it up right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess we have different fields. I mean, you watch Rumbling Heart, which is old as fuck.
Well, that's because you told me to. I wouldn't have done it otherwise, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, how many people know what fucking Rumbling Heart is?
How many people, bro? No one watches old VN adaptations.
Actually, it's funny too because like I think not even long after I told you about Rumbling Heart, I think I forget who it was, but someone's like, "Oh, you only know new shit." I was like, "No,
Oh, bro, you know what? You're cheesy.
I've seen Monster."
No, you're cheesed me. The one time I was talking to a bunch of fucking like Zoom. I don't know if I call them Zoomers, but I'll call them Zoomers because just fuck them, right?
Yeah,
Disclaimer: I don't hate you, Zoomers. Nothing personal, but fuck these dudes. In particular. So they're talking about some fucking light novel. It's like, oh, how I became a zombie in another world. I was like, what are you guys talking about? This like stuff like that, right? Like just like how like a lot of light novels and web novel adaptations just sound fucking stupid, right?
Yeah,
Because they have like let's be honest, they have goofy ass names. You can't even at me on that.
yeah. But apparently, it's just because no one. It's to catch me because it's basically trying to put like the synopsis as a title. That's why it's like that. Apparently.
Apparently it is, but like it doesn't erase the fact that a lot of them are also shit too.
Yeah.
Uh, and they were talking about like, oh yeah, how me and a zombie had a gangbang in a neighborhood in another world, and I was like, oh, okay, nice.
No, that's not real. That's not real.
It might as well have been that. That's how stupid they get. You know what I mean? Right?
Me and a zombie had a gangbang in the neighborhood? No. What kind of gangbang? Are we talking about like gangster gangbang or like
I don't know.
X-rated
Maybe
gangbang?
no. I think it's gangbangers. They holding up people. Maybe I don't know.
Uh,
Look, but it doesn't change the fact that they're stupid, right? And I was like talking, and I was like, what are you people watching?" He's like, "I'm sorry, we're not a normie like you." And like, I don't know why, but my blood was boiling because it's like, how dare you? You motherfuckers haven't watched anything older than you.
I'll say this: I know for
And
gaming,
I know I should have got cheese, but it's like, fuck you. What the fuck even you're calling me a normie? This man called me a shonen.
annoying.
This man called me a shonen boy, and like I was like, boy, you want to talk smack? I'm gonna fuck you up.
I mean, I think we both know from like the stuff we recommend each other that neither of us are like shonen boys. Like we like shonen, but that's not what we do.
I do like shonen. When I try to talk to other people who like, yeah, I've
Like
seen all.
shonen.
You know when people say I'm done with anime, and it's like, oh yeah, I've seen all the shonen, and I'm like, that's nothing,
Um,
right? That's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. It's like, oh, you want to see a man get traumatized? I can show you that.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I still can't believe I watched Rumbling Hearts at 14. I think I watched it way too young. Yo, Justin.
I think you did. Honestly, straight up, I watched it. I'm looking at this. I'm like, what part of this is like, yeah, this is for me.
Dude, this shit, yeah, it was kind of like, it is kind of, it's not, I'm not gonna lie, that show's kind of depressing. Like, that guy, like, when I told you the synopsis, I'm like, yo,
I
this
mean,
man, this
he's.
man had pressure on him.
I was gonna say this man also was suffering from success.
No, but it was kind of like, the guy didn't have his life together in, like, any, like, sense of the word. Like, it was that synopsis where people always make the joke, like, yo, what would you do if your girlfriend was in a coma for, like, 5 years? And then that happens, and then just, like,
Fuck her best friend.
fuck her best friend. She wakes up, and that's what I always say. Like my personal opinion, I think Rumbling Hearts just a much better executed School Days, and it's older than School Days.
Cause yeah, straight. Well, I think the whole point of School Days was it was supposed to be like so bad that it's meant to be like a parody. Not a
But
parody,
that's the
but
thing.
like
Like I felt
okay, but who likes School Days? No one actually likes School Days.
there are people who like it, but that's what I mean. Like if you watch the beginning of School Days and you watch the beginning of Rumbling Hearts, they feel very similar. It's just that when they have their train wrecks, School Days train wreck is like bad. The
Okay,
Rumbling Hearts train back is like the evolving of a man. Like that guy is fucked. Like if it, like I've never seen a show where I was like, "No, nah, that guy needs therapy." I'm sorry, that guy needs to talk to someone.
all I'm gonna say is it didn't. I started liking School Days at the end when people started dying.
I was gonna say though, like,
Cause like the one time I decided to jokingly look at the School Days extended universe, and I was horrified to say the least.
is it extended universe?
Yeah, bro, it is a lot of rape is all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know, I know.
No, I mean
Oh
like
no,
with kids involved, and I'm like, oh wow, this escalated by a lot.
oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I heard. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, School Days is like fuck, but I don't know. I don't really care for it. But I guess the reason why I like Rumbling Hearts so much is that it felt real, even though it was very dramatized. It was like it was weird because it's like there were stories in it where it's like I know people who have gone through the same exact stuff and have like it's sad when I like again like think about it like you know how fucked the Rumbling Hearts is. There are stories in that show where I was like I know people who have gone through situations like that.
I'm just thinking to myself,
Not the whole thing, but like
yeah, not
areas
the
where I'm
whole
like
thing. I mean,
okay.
to be fair, if you had a homeboy, you had the whole story happen, I'd have to ask, like, did they just like take your life story and put it in there?
I would ask, dude, are they still alive, man? They good? You've never seen someone so depressed while dicking down their girlfriend's best
Yeah,
friend.
yo, bro, yeah, I wish that was me. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think you wish that was you.
Look, I wish I could be sad while being guts deep in another woman.
Yeah. Well, she's also sad.
No, no, she's not that sad.
She's
she.
pretty sad. She had a dream to be in the Olympics, and she kind of threw it away for your bum ass.
Yeah, she threw. Okay, I feel that, bro. You know what fucked me up? Yeah, this is an off the tangent story, but like my boy was telling me, like, yeah, this girl, she's swell, she cooks for a man, blah blah blah. Her man don't got a big piece, cheats, pays for OnlyFans. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what part of this man is attractive, handsome, or reliable? And she's like, I give my life for this man. I'm like, this man's a bitch.
It's, what I'm gonna say is, school days is not school days. Rumbling Heart's an example of circumstance. Like sometimes you just get put in those circumstances
Yeah,
and things happen.
I also like to go for 3 out of 10 women as well, and throw my whole life away for that.
Yeah, I mean, no, dude, he had his girl, and
Not even to
he,
say she's a 3 out of 10, but he's a 3 out of 10 in the fact that like he's just fucking useless, and that she had to bear rate. She oh no, I'm getting cheese now because I nothing more that pisses me off than someone having a future and throwing that away for a nobody.
yeah, and that's the thing is like his girl also had a future, but then obviously her things happened to her that just it was it's just sad. It's depressing. There's no happy ending. Um, but what I was gonna say, well, actually, one thing I didn't know is that show actually has two endings.
What?
That show has two endings, by the way.
Who else?
Hmm?
Who else?
What do you mean? Who else?
Because you said guess which show ended.
No. That's I said that like Rumbling Hearts has two endings.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, there's two endings.
Which I was shocked. I was like, yeah, which one of these endings do I like more? I don't know.
I mean, yeah. But I was gonna say for video games, I'm definitely an old head.
I mean, you know the fucked up thing about like video games is like it's been bothering me lately how like old games seem to be not that well preserved, and it's like you get re-releases of movies all the time, everything's safe and secure, but like video games, man, if you want to get old copies, go fuck yourself.
Could have like an original copy of Pong.
Okay, no one misses out. Okay, no, Pong ain't that relevant, but you know what I mean, right?
You mean you're not trying to hit up the old Magna box?
No, no,
Magna box?
nah, are you? Not me.
What do you mean? You mean you don't have the pristine old Apple computer?
The old Macintosh? Nah,
Oh yeah.
nah, B.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. But yeah, no. After I watched that episode, like it's weird because like people who are like self-proclaimed weed, you would expect them to have like this much larger knowledge, and then I realized like
See,
they
see,
don't.
I tried to shed the label actively, and then whenever I talk about anime to other people, it's like, wow, you know a lot. It's like, I don't. That doesn't make me feel happy in this case.
I mean, I never had the label. I
Nah,
just
bro.
know
I
it's
get
like
I get
that.
slapped. I get slapped with the label, and it's like I wish this wasn't my label, but
The
it's
trick
like,
is
huh?
you have to know more. If you know more about other things, it just goes to like, oh, that person just knows a lot of
See, the
different things.
problem is like I know things, but the problem is like I talk about things to like I'm willing to talk about some things more than others, right?
Hmm.
Because if you talk about like real shit, no one's gonna listen straight up, right?
Yeah,
Uh, no one got ears for that. But when it comes to frivolous shit like nerd shit, people somehow have their ears open for that, and it's like, well, people just assume I'm a nerd. Like, no, I actually I try not to be. Actually, I'm more of like an amateur scholar by nature.
amateur skull. I've never heard that.
No, because like I like to just read old fucking books that are just like obscure as shit that no one else is gonna read in their lifetime,
Okay, that's
right?
fair.
Like,
Fair.
I've dug up all ancient copies of history books just because why not? I'm not being paid to do this. This is not for a paper or any thesis. I'm not gonna publish anything out there. I'm just doing this because I want to know.
You just want to know.
Yeah,
Would
like
you call yourself a truth seeker?
I guess to a degree, but like not in the sense of science. I don't pursue STEM as my form of truth, right?
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
no. When people say truth seeker, they usually mean like conspiracy people.
no, I mean like I'm like the type of guy who likes to hunt down authors from the period where shit happened, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, but I was gonna say like people, people who are like really apparently people who are like really really into like conspiracy. They don't like being called like people who are like they don't like the term conspiracy people. They like the term truth seekers
Well,
because they're
because
looking
like
for the truth.
conspiracy has a negative connotation. I don't blame them.
Yeah,
Even though low key it is conspiracy hunting.
that's why I was like, are you a truth seeker? Are you conspiracy hunter?
I mean, I don't believe so, but I would like to say I'm not, but I won't put it. I won't. I don't. It's no no. I don't pursue conspiracies. I just pursue threads.
That's
Right.
fair. That's fair.
Uh, I pursue threads.
Threads of the truth. I see.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that's what I like to do. But like, I mean, like people do nerd shit. Like, if you ask me on, like, I remember all my shit like from the past. Like, I was a big Transformers fan. You ask me about Transformers, I know a lot about Transformers. Have I kept up with Transformers recently? Fuck no.
Hmm.
Right? Just because I don't keep up with it, don't mean like I don't remember a lot of it. Because like I used to live and breathe a lot of media, and now these days I try not to because I'm trying to like do shit more. Like I'm trying to be more, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
then when
understandable.
motherfuckers run around and say like, yeah, bro, I'm great, bro. I'm a. It's like being a nerd is now being cool. It's weird. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, it is now.
It's like, dog. I used to get so much flack for it. Hell, if they do it, that's cool. You're hot. But if I do it, it's like,
No, the only thing you get slack for now is eating hot cereal.
honestly, hot cereal. That's not
It's
even.
good.
It's not even a bad. It's not even bad. It's I'll stand by it. So I never even tried hot cereal. I'll just say it sounds good.
People shit on me without even trying it,
You know, it's
but I
just
don't care. You
there's
shit
this
on my
there's
what?
this meme that summarized my feelings. It's like we live in a strange time where the nerds watch $1 billion Disney movies and the jocks read obscure philosophical texts from into ancient and medieval eras.
Yep. I
That's
mean,
it's
I
like
heard a story where a kid.
it's like you got the Chad reading Nietzsche and then you got the fucking you got the other dude just crying saying like I gotta wait 7 whole days to watch She-Hulk twerk again.
I mean, I heard from what I heard, kids get made fun of now for not playing Fortnite. So we've lost.
I never won to begin with until until I'm stacking paper. We ain't winning.
Really. Yeah, I mean, it depends and stuff like that. I guess it is kind of just funny to like my whole thing was just seeing like people who are self-proclaimed at something, but then it's like when someone else isn't and they know more, it's like, oh, what the hell? what's going on?
Well, he's your super my title?
But
I
yeah, we definitely do have different areas in not just like anime video games too.
yeah. I mean, for me, like, I have a bad habit of just sticking in one genre for a time and not doing anything else for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna ask though, have you done anything with the computer yet?
I've been dusting it off, keeping it clean, but at the same time, things have been busy because my family's getting sick here or there.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Because I was sick like a week or two ago, and then now my father's sick, and it's like, yeah, we just keep on trading illnesses at this point, and we can't do nothing.
Is it the flu or is it just like a cold?
I don't know. I think I had the flu. I don't know what my father has. I hope my mother don't catch nothing. I'll be honest. I've been using my Steam Deck more lately, which thank you by the way for the recommendation.
Yeah, I told you. You know,
I
it's funny when I was going to like the airport, the guy asked
I
me
have
like,
to
"Yo,
fiddle
what?"
with the settings a lot because like sometimes it's not as easy, and not to mention like the some games like you can't adjust the volume with the buttons on the side. You have to go within the like Steam to adjust the volume.
You can't go. Wait, how come you can't? I've never encountered that problem.
It's for some like obscure VN I'm playing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not even gonna say that's a
I
deck.
guess
I'm not even gonna say that's a deck problem. I'm gonna say it's a game problem.
no. I mean, it to me again. It plays. It works. It's fun. You get it, and you instantly have a bigger library than your Switch. It outperforms the Switch. Like again, I don't want to shit on the Switch. The Switch is a great console, but as a portable console, I think it's garbage. I'm sorry, but what's been your favorite thing about the Steam Deck so far?
I guess it's just the fact that it's just a simple, smooth experience. It just simplifies a lot of nonsense. I could download something, fire it up. It doesn't take that long to charge. The battery life's pretty good on it.
Yeah,
It's just
especially if you're playing VNs, I would imagine the
VM's
battery
like
life is.
I've sat there on my bed for like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and like my mouth gets groggy, and I'm like, oh god, it's been. And I'm the type of guy who doesn't like to sit around for like more than an hour or so when I'm or two in like a day. But like when I just lost myself, it's like, oh no,
Oh no, what have I done?
what have I done?
I
What have I done?
actually wanted to. I actually wanted to play the Steam Deck yesterday in bed, play some Tails, but it wasn't charged.
Ah, that
So
yeah,
that was my.
that feeling when you didn't charge it, you're like, fuck me, bro. It's like it's that slap in the face. It's like I did this to myself.
I'm my worst enemy. But yeah,
It's
no, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're liking it. Obviously, I'm sure there's going to be certain games you can finally play Yakuza portably.
Yakuza because Nintendo just
Yakuza.
so Sega's like, hey, honestly, if Sega wants like an extra stimulus of money, just jump all the Yakuza on Switch. They'll just make enough money to help them get through the next financial period.
Can that run on Switch? I actually did want to talk about one more topic, last topic, but
Yeah,
Persona 5 Royal finally out on the Switch, and I will say I was right, but I was also wrong.
how so?
Well, so most people when people were like, "Yo, the Switch," because like again, if you played the Switch really early on, there was a lot of games that like Persona. There was a lot of games on the Switch that the Switch just struggled with, right? Even a game like Octopath Travelers, the Switch actually struggles with. Which, if you know, it's not
Which
super graphically
was
intensive
built
or
on the Switch. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. I shouldn't say that.
yeah, but
It was
when
built
people
on the no. That's so dumb of me to say that.
when people were like, the bring Persona to the Switch, I thought it was just a really weird take. Because it was like, I don't know, it would be really weird, and I don't think it would run super well. Obviously, it came out. It runs. I don't want to say it runs well. I want to say it runs. It runs. it runs good. I'll say that. But I'll say personally, if it was my choice and you had a Steam Deck, it'd probably be better to just play it on a Steam Deck, or if you have a console, play it on a console. Because my whole thing with why I didn't really think it is would have been a better choice is it looked fine. It runs at a stable 30 FPS, but it runs on dock. So remember, this is dock, not on like handheld. On dock, it actually runs. People are saying it runs below 720p or maybe 720p, and you can tell that the textures of the game is pretty down. It has a little bit bad of an arkling problem where a single just or assets will just load in later, right? But what they have done, which I think makes it really, really good, is the actual like text or like overlays of things are rendered in 1080p. So that looks good. But the world itself looks a little bit meh. But it did run, and, And I guess obviously they would have had to do a little bit of tweaking and stuff like that. So I say I was wrong in saying it was gonna not. It's not gonna be the best, and it isn't the best experience personally. But it runs. It runs well. You're getting the Persona 5 experience. So I'll say I was wrong. What's wrong?
No, I'm just thinking to myself like, this is what you people asked for, and now you got it. Are you happy?
Yeah, off apparently off dock it runs below 720p. People are saying it might run at like 480p
I'm
off
dead.
dock,
I'm dead.
but like I
Like,
don't know.
did it? Uh, I I'm thinking to myself like, did we
It
need?
doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad though. I will say it doesn't look bad,
It
but
don't
you
look
can tell.
bad, but
Oh,
do it run
look,
bad? Do it run the best?
it runs at a solid 30 FPS. Like people cannot let the game will not run lower than 30 FPS,
Okay, that's good. I
which
was
is
gonna
good.
say if it runs on the crisp 15 frames.
Because Persona 5 isn't necessarily a difficult game to run, but it's also a game with a lot of assets, there's a lot of like effects, there's a lot of things going around, there's a lot of different textures going around, right? Although, yes, this is a game that was made for the PlayStation 3, people have to remember Persona 4 Royal did not come out on the PlayStation 3. It's an upgraded version of Persona 5. It's an upgraded version of Persona 5 that was exclusive to the PS4, and now it's up for the PS5. It's up for a bunch of things, and hopefully my copy of Persona 5 ships soon. It should for the PS5.
Uh,
Because if you don't know, I said I would never get the special edition unless I would never get Persona 5 Royal. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I always said I wouldn't get Persona 5 Royal unless I can get the special edition. And because they came out with a new special edition, which I think is a lot better than the original special edition, at first I didn't think so. But then I was like, nah, it shits on it, and it's the same price. Actually, let me actually I'll show you the special editions and tell me which one you think is better. We'll end it off with that.
all right, let's see it. I full 1080.
Dude, that's a fucking 1080i. Do you remember that? When things
Yeah,
would be at 1080i or 720p or 720i? Do you remember that?
I remember. I unfortunately, yeah, I do. Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's
that's it.
okay, so the one I'm posting first is the original special edition. I'll say what I think it has over the new one, but I do think the new one is better in almost every single way. This is the old one, and this is the new one.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Okay, so one thing to say, these are the same price.
Yeah, you got the bag, bro. Literally.
Okay, so let me explain why. So let me say what I think the original one has over the new one. I honestly only think it's just the math. I think it's just the math. That's about it. But if you were to ask me, would I rather have the mask or the 15-inch laptop bag? I would take the 15-inch laptop bag because at least I can at least like use that.
Reminds you of the Master Chief head.
Because like here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. Why I think it's so much better. The old one, you get a soundtrack that realistically you're never going to use. It's just going to go into your soundtrack pile, and an art book. Which, if you have the original Persona 5 art book, it's not that big. It's only around 60 pages. You're better off buying the actual official art book that came out that has like it's like close to 400 plus pages of like art. You're better off buying that. Like I'm not gonna lie, Nintendo always does really good art books. Um, I don't know why no one else does like full art books, but Sega's art books generally let me down. I'm sorry.
It's a shame because they have good artists. You know who is a good artist? Capcom. I wish I had more art books from them.
No, no, no. Like, it's not that Sega does bad art books. It's the fact that what happens with Sega is when they do special editions and do art books, they're not full art books. If you get a Nintendo product and you're getting an art book, you're getting a full art book. You're getting plus minimum 150 pages, and these are books. These are full on books. The Xenoblade one is over 200 pages. The Metroid one is over 200 pages. I'm pretty sure the Bayonetta one is over 200 pages. Like they're all big and these are massive books. These are not standard books. These are long. The Fire Emblem one is massive. I love that art book.
I want that
But
one.
uh, I have it. The one that came with Three Houses. It's amazing. You know what? You know what? Okay, I'll tell you after why I love this art, the Fire Emblem Three Houses one because it does something that I've never seen in an art book, and I think it's so cool. You don't have it?
No, because
I thought you got Three Houses special edition.
no, I didn't, bro. I was broke as shit. I just focused on grabbing and leaving it at that.
No, my thing with the Nintendo special editions is that they're pretty cheap. Like they're generally only like $20 to $30 more.
Uh,
But you get like an art book that's like worth.
I don't have stability of income.
But let me explain the new one. So the new one, you get this chest, and this chest is actually really fucking big, right? And I'm like, oh, I can actually put stuff in that, right? And if you had the original Persona um, 5 special edition, it had a similar like magnetic box. It was really cool. And I was like, oh, but then I looked at the side of the box, and that thing has like a gold plated. Obviously, it's not gold plated, but it has like a gold accented handle. And I'm like, oh, I think that thing's like legit, legit. Like that's a really cool chest. Um, you get the tarot cards, which I have all the tarot cards for Persona already. For like the Persona 4,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have all those tarot cards from, and those tarot cards are really hard to get. So basically, to get the original tarot cards for Persona 4, you actually had to buy Persona 4 Arena Ultimax First Wave Edition, and you had to buy Persona 4 Q First Wave Edition. And these games came out in separate years. I think they're about 6 to 9 months apart. And if you bought one, you have to get half. And again, these are first wave, so these are the first copies of these games to ship to stores. And most stores didn't even get like a lot of these, so it's really rare to actually find these cards. And you had to do a lot to get them. And I was gonna say the tarot card pack isn't the first time to release it, but I think the card pack they sell already alone costs like I think it's like 70, $80. So the fact that this is just thrown in for free, well, not for free, but for like very cheap, is pretty good.
No, I could say that's good.
You get a picture frame that has all the characters on it that you can switch out, which again I think is a nice touch. It's like a little bit more dynamic than I'm used to for special editions. You get a 15-inch laptop box or laptop bag that looks decent quality, which is obviously going to fit in most laptops. I have a MacBook, so it's going to be perfect. And the chest I think is good. And maybe this is me being biased, but I think the steelbook for this one looks better than the old one.
It could be.
I guess I just don't like the yellow tint. You can see the difference. Like, what's your opinion?
I mean, just frankly speaking, I do like the light blue color on the original.
Like blue color?
I mean,
Where?
I like the white cover, but at the same time, this next one just
The
has.
original's not a white. No, the white cover is the art book.
Oh, the art book. I like the art book's design,
Yeah.
but as a whole, I'd say this is a more complete package. You got more going on. The chest is kind of charming, although you just got more here, man. That's straight up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could say. Like you just have more, and that's just very nice in itself.
Oh, you also get all the DLC.
Yeah, because it's like the Royale edition, right?
No, no. So there's Royal, and this is Royal One More Edition. You get all the Royal DLC
I like how I
because
say.
when Royal came out,
I like how I don't even
when
say.
Royal came out. Oh,
Oh, my bad.
oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Good.
I was gonna say when Royal came out, it came with its own DLC. This one comes with Royal's DLC too. Because they're both Persona 4. They're both Persona 5 Royale. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I like how I don't even say Royal. I'm like Royale.
Royale. Victory.
Victory Royale.
Um, no, the art book is the one that's like right beside the not the art book. The case is the one that's like right beside the chest. I'm happy with it. I think I can't wait for it to be here. I know they said they're shipping the game first and then shipping the special edition like November. So I'll get the game and then the special edition. Um, and you know what's actually kind of sad?
What?
Um, apparently the day I left is the same day my Xenoblade special edition arrived at my house.
How many L's are you taking in that situation?
Oh, I'll get it back. I'll get it. Well, my mom's gonna ship it, so I'm gonna get it. It won't be that bad. It looks good though. I'm not gonna lie. But I was gonna say one thing with this Fire Emblem special edition or the Fire Emblem like art book. The reason why I said I really like it is it's sectioned off, right? But you want to know what they do to section it off?
What'd they do?
Wait, I'll just grab it. Mm, They put like I guess it's like wax paper and let me see what I can find. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've already played through the game, so it's not like players, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure you've done every route, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Even the DLC with the fourth route.
It's not even okay. So the fourth route does not have a DLC, but okay, well I'm not gonna explain that because that's too much trouble for the podcast.
Oh, okay, but yeah, this like frame thing is like wax paper. It's like very different, and it's just a really cool like overlay.
These are
I
very
think it's a really way cool way to section it off.
these are very nice.
The art book, Nintendo's art book, they don't miss. I'm sorry, you can hate on Nintendo all you want, but their art books,
Well, they've always
they don't miss.
it's interesting how like none of their games have come out recently have any like notable bugs.
Hmm?
It seems like whenever I see news about like oh this game came out broke, I don't see Nintendo up there, so it's like huh.
Yeah, yeah, Nintendo has really good quality.
Yeah, they do honestly,
Uh,
and
yeah,
it's astonishing to see how other companies don't.
well, I mean, I would say this. This is no offense to Nintendo. When you really have to, when you can only rely on your own games to sell your console, you kind of have to have that kind of quality control.
I mean, good, good, great,
it
good, great. Like
is good. It is good.
it's just it's just like I'm thinking to myself like dog, you gotta keep it easier than that.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say that's the episode.
Yeah. Forgive the audio problems. Dante is having a bit of transition because his mic isn't here right now. Let's say he
Yeah, and I'm in an undisclosed location.
we didn't I wasn't even gonna bring that up. I was just gonna say man man just needs a new mic unfortunately, and he had to switch a few times, but that's okay. we'll be back to
Yeah.
a regular standard quality, and me straining myself less to understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully, it's not too bad.
I don't think it'll be, but that's enough. I mean, that's fine. So we'll leave it at that. So take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Have a good one.
Yeah. Peace.